Shalom. Giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. We're going to go into some news and prophecy where we link the things that are happening, throughout the planet Earth to the Holy Scriptures to show the faithful elect, the remnant, that the words of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, faithful and true, as we chant down Babylon the Great, as well as this beast system who was ran, or which is ran by the biblical Edomites, as well as the different heathen nations who were joined unto them to establish, this anti-Messiah, wicked NWO, or New World Order, that is ultimately going to be destroyed at the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We're also here to chant down 2/3 of our own people who will not repent or take heed to the message that is being sung in the form of the new song by the holy prophets that have been raised up in these latter days. So today's theme, as you can see in the title of the video, is a shameful spewing that is being ultimately spewed upon the legacy of the biblical Edomites. You so-called white people, in particular the elites, of Esau, Edom. This message of, condemnation is mainly to the elites. All of you Edomites are going down, but the elites of this whole setup, the ones who run these banks, all of these corporations, and who ultimately control, the entertainment, the quality of the food, the quality of the air, the quality of the water, and have done everything in their power to oppose, the Most High God, Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, and the chosen people, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true Israelites, as well as those of you who may look like the other nations, but you hear this message and you're moved to repent, and offer up a righteous sacrifice, you too are a member pursuant to prophecy. In the latter days, the elect will raise up via the Spirit, not via skin color, not via the pseudoscience that's associated with the system of Edomite supremacy, but through the truth. The elect will be gathered here in these latter days. And it's happening, and as we told you, this devil was going to come down with great wrath, which we see that being prepared. But also, if you've been watching, one of the things we told you was going to happen, was there's going to be many enchantments, and the enchantments, are going to be pushed out to counteract the fact that this devil is losing the info war and he's being exposed and he can no longer hide himself, as the scriptures say, in the book of Jeremiah 49. Let's get that real quick. Esau would be made bare. He would be made bare, and he would not be able to hide himself. This is the book of Jeremiah 49. Let's pull it up here in 10. But I have made Esau bare. And the end result is that none will be remaining. But before that, you Edomites will be exposed through the word, that is being spoken by the prophets. And you would also be exposed by those who were once a part of your own system, by your own Edomite kind, and by other heathen, even 2/3 of our people. Some of them are waking up, and bringing out particular things that are damaging to your reputation. You're being caught, as the scriptures say. We'll get it in Isaiah 47. Thou art caught because thou hast striven against the Lord. You got caught, and we're living in a time where the man of sin is being revealed. No matter how many Israelites want to take the focus off of Esau, the true prophets will keep the pressure on him through the word, through the Holy Spirit. Okay? So Jeremiah 49:10, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Okay, and this is ultimately the sentence. Okay, 1,000 years of hardcore captivity. Okay, and then your seed will be obliterated. All right, you will be evicted and kicked out of the garden, pursuing the biblical prophecy. These are not our words. We're not making this up. All right, there is a special judgment for you Edomites. All of you heathen are going down, but for you Edomites, pursuing to Isaiah 14, okay, you will be the only, all right, heathen nation and not that will not be able, okay, to, as the scriptures say, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. All right, there won't be any rejoicing of the seed or house of Esau. Okay, so Esau is being made bare. So to counter the fact that he's being exposed pursuant to biblical prophecy, okay, you're seeing and witnessing many enchantments, many lies, many cover-up stories, all right, and just flat out plain, all right, stupidity, okay, to captivate the minds of the people and to keep people off center, okay, to the reality of what's going on. This is why the scriptures tell us, okay, let's get the book of Sirach, the 39th chapter. And Satan is definitely in attack mode. I will say that. Brothers and sisters are catching hell, and it's supposed to be this way. All right, because a great blessing is coming. But again, we're in the straight gate. So if you're feeling an extra, sense of heaviness, your health being attacked, your personal situation is just all over the place. You just feel like, damn, you're being challenged in your thoughts. All right, that's a part of it. All right, and the attacks are only going to turn up. All right, but the Lord got us. Okay, because Satan knows that he has but a short time. All right, so this is the book of Sirach 39:1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in a meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of the ancient and be occupied in prophecy. So the only way around this, as I was speaking to the elder brother Zion Allah of the DC camp, all right, one of my, one of the brothers I'm very close with, we were talking about this, and I was watching a video where he mentioned it as well, that pretty much the only way around all of this confusion Esau is putting out here is to be occupied in prophecies, all right, and keep the sayings of renowned men, all right, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. So we have to stick to the script. Prophecy, overrides all of the confusion that this devil is coming with, because if you're looking out into this world, there's no shortage of confusion. And why is this confusion being pushed out by the powers that be? Because they are getting caught and they have nowhere to run. And we know the next phase of this, all right, is total chaos. All right, blackouts that will be, blamed on, maybe Russia or whatever. All right. And that will give them the ability, with the, because power outages seem to be the theme of the summer. Okay. I've witnessed it, internet issues, outages, all of that is just ramping up for the what's coming, because these devils have but a short time, and we'll get into that. So I'm going to start with this Instagram post that was sent to me. As you can see, what seems to be looks like maybe an Ammonite, so-called Japanese, so-called Vietnamese, maybe, who knows. Matt Attack 009. Let's listen to what he's bringing out about the enchantments that have been, pushed out over the last couple of weeks.
All week I've been fascinated with this story. Billionaire trapped in the bottom of the sea in search of the Titanic. It'll take 6 hours to get there and only 8 hours of oxygen. Suspense. Will they live? Will they die? Duped by the fucking media. Again. Monday, the Titan is missing. Tuesday, there's a banging sound. Wednesday, they're running out of air. Thursday, oh no, we found the wreckage. But the entire time, they knew it was BS. US Navy knew the sub already blew up on Sunday. But they distracted us, again, to hide the news cycle. What happened this week?
To hide the news cycle. Now, we just read he's not going to be able to hide himself, and that's what he's trying to do. Right? Because pretty much what Esau is up against, okay, he's trying to hide what he's doing, all right, not only from the people, because he's going to present it as peace and safety, but he's trying to hide or separate the fact that what he's doing is really tied to biblical prophecy. And that's coming from the prophets. And it's becoming more and more clear. Even regular everyday people have a spirit on them. They don't have the Holy Spirit, but they have a spirit on them to link what he's doing to the Bible. Okay? There's a spirit out here. Okay? Again, you have the two witnesses, which is the elect of Judah and Ephraim, northern and southern kingdom. Okay? Or southern and northern kingdom, which are being raised up here in these latter days. And then you have that third witness, which is ultimately the Lord putting the spirit on these everyday working class individuals or people who had some sort of piece of the pie and left these different organizations who were once a part of the, in crowd and, were high level doctors who, saw the evils, and they're going to these different alternative platforms and they're exposing it. Again, we're living in a time that there's a shameful spewing, all right, being placed upon Esau, Edom. So what happened the week that they just pushed this crazy ass story about a sinking Titanic? Now, keep in mind, the original Titanic sinking had to do, all right, with something with the Federal Reserve. I forget. Somebody on the comment board could put it. I'm not going to look it up, but I know, there was some very important people on that ship, and it had to do with the Federal Reserve or something with the money. All right. And now as we're entering into the time where they're getting ready to collapse this system and do away with, the paper money and bring about a new system, it makes sense that they would tie something to the Titanic, all right, as some form of ritual, which that's what I believe it was. Some people believe it actually happened. Who knows? But we know that the left hand is at work. And that's the importance of being occupied in prophecy. We know there's enchantments being pushed out on a high level. We're in a high level age of the deception. So sticking to the script is very important. So he's going to go into what happened this week.
Let's do a quick recap on what you missed. JP Morgan and Jeffrey Epstein emails were released. And now they have just mistakenly deleted 47 million emails.
You hear that? So the Jeffrey Epstein link to JP Morgan Chase, all right, which that's just one, all right, elite family that's linked to Epstein. I mean, you have all manner of, high level government officials, Obama. You got many of these people in high positions, okay, different actors who are tied to this Epstein thing, yet, all right, they won't release the names. The names have come out, all right, but for some reason in mainstream media, you don't see a big push against it, all right. It's not something that's talked about, all right. They're pushing all manner of enchantments in your mind with all of the evils and wickedness going on, right. They're throwing out the fact that, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg might have a fight, in a cage fight. See, these are the types of enchantments that are going on, and it's getting more and more tacky. The bread and circuses are getting more and more tacky, and when you go to what bread and circuses are, let's look it up. Bread and circuses goes back to Rome, It says something as extravagant entertainment. And when you look at, the where the entertainment world is going, sports is just a big circus. It's more and more clear that it's fake. You have more of these, boxing matches that, that's all over the place. Like what, just all manner of just confusion. Okay. Extravagant entertainment offered as an expedient means to pacify discontent or diverting attention from a source, all right, of grievance. Okay. And when you get the book of Psalms, let's get the book of Psalms 140 real quick. They instill, Operation Mockingbird. You can look that up. They just instill all manner of witchcraft in your mind. Okay? This is the book of Psalms 140:1. Deliver me, O Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. And that's what they're doing. They're preparing war against the people. Oh, yeah. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Okay, when you look up this word sharpened, I believe that's the word I'm looking for. Sharpen their tongues like a serpent. Maybe it's adder's poison. Let's see. I believe it's this word. But if not, we'll go to the word for poison. Yep. The word is shanan. All right. Shanan. All right. Sharpen, wet, sharpen. All right. To teach diligently. So they diligently push all manner of poison on you. All right. Now it says to inculate. Okay. To inculate. I remember a brother thought this said inoculate. Like, man, the vaccine is in the Bible. Nah. Inculate is this word, right? And we'll look up the word inculate. All right. To pierce. And what are they trying to pierce? Your soul. All right. Your psyche. Okay. And they're going hardcore at the children. You would think that there would be like a big agenda against doing what they're doing to children, but that's just a normal part of the NWO. Now it says to instill, all right, an attitude, idea, or habit by persistent instruction. All right, so they're persistent in pushing, all right, propaganda and lies into the psyche of the people. Okay, and that whole, Titanic thing, we believe, was some form of enchantment. All right. But again, the purpose of the enchantment is to somehow, some way get around the reality of what's coming unto them. So we're going to see if it works. So 47 million emails that would expose ties. 47 million. Why are you have 47 million emails? What kind of wickedness are you doing? See, the Edomite thought he would never get caught. The pride of his heart deceived him. All right. So they have all kind of emails, even with the whole pizza situation. If you remember that. All right. The gate full of pizza years ago that came out and exposed a lot, of emails and things, but it was covered up. See, they're going to continuously cover things up, but eventually it's not going to be anywhere to hide. And that's when they're going to eventually just go crazy, which they're already going crazy. They're preparing the craziness. 47 million emails just disappeared. Where the emails go? Where'd they go? They just and then Epstein himself, he just hangs himself. Remember Joe Paterno from Penn State? He just dies. Ironically, he just dies. Right when the investigation were getting ready to come, between, the pedo thing. So these devils are through. But 47 million emails just disappear. Okay. And there's more. There's more that was happening over this last couple of weeks. Okay. more things that was like would have really exposed E, but the Hunter Biden thing, which I believe he's going to bring that up, which Hunter Biden has ties in Ukraine. He's a complete crackhead criminal. Recording himself just having orgies and he's just completely, just complete weirdo. And you would think these things would be in mainstream media, but for some reason, all right, it's showing you who controls all of this, man.
Joe Biden is undergoing an impeachment vote in the House, or at least trying. The Pentagon fat-fingered $6 billion to Ukraine. Hunter Biden gets a slap on the wrist while FBI whistleblowers are going missing. And John Durham had his congressional hearing this week regarding the Russia hoax. But I was so busy wondering about the billionaire who decided to go boating in a submersible soda can, I missed it all.
Yeah, so let's play it again.
The Titan. All week I've been fascinated with this story. Billionaire trapped in the bottom of the sea in search of the Titanic. It'll take 6 hours to get there and only 8 hours of oxygen. Suspense.
8 hours of oxygen, but it takes 6 hours to get there.
Will they live? Will they die? Duped by the fucking media. Again. Monday, the Titan is missing. Tuesday, there's a banging sound. Wednesday, they're running out of air. Thursday, oh no, we found the wreckage. But the entire time, they knew it was BS.
And even if it wasn't, 8 hours of oxygen, the whole thing came at a very, very interesting time. All right. Again, the people are trying to impeach Biden. Hunter Biden just gets a slap on the wrist for some hardcore crimes. They accidentally send Ukraine $6 more million, or was it billion? Let's see what it said.
U.S. Navy knew the sub already blew up on Sunday, but they distracted us again to hide the news cycle. What happened this week? Let's do a quick recap on what you missed. JP Morgan and Jeffrey Epstein emails were released, and now they have just mistakenly deleted 47 million emails. Joe Biden is undergoing an impeachment vote in the House, or at least trying. The Pentagon fat-fingered $6 billion to Ukraine.
$6 billion accidentally sent to Ukraine. That's what it was.
Hunter Biden gets a slap on the wrist while FBI whistleblowers are going missing.
People who are exposing things are going missing.
And John Durham had his congressional hearing this week regarding the Russia hoax. But I was so busy wondering about the billionaire who decided to go boating in a submersible soda can, I missed it all.
Let's get the book of Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. Okay? For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. And America is no more being called tender and delicate. All right. Now, when you look up this word daughter, all right, because you may wonder, why does it say daughter? Well, the word daughter in the Hebrew, all right, is bath, all right, or batha, all right, daughter, girl, all right. Now, when it goes here, proper feminine found as personification, okay, the express image, basically. It carries on the image of the ancient Babylonian empire, all right, in which the ancient Neo-Babylonian empire had the Chaldeans, all right, which the Chaldeans, when you look it up, all right, were the witches and warlocks, all right, those persons considered the wisest in the land by extension, all right, so the wisest, all right, in this land, okay, the witches and warlocks, all right, who truly run this setup in this time is ultimately the elites, okay, and they're working all manner of magic, okay. The Chaldeans were known for their magic, all right, for their sorcery, for their evil, okay, and this is the virgin daughter of Babylon. It carries on the image, it's the personification of, all right, the ancient Babylonian system, the ancient Neo-Babylonian system. Now we're in what? The virgin daughter of Babylon. Why is it the virgin? Because it has not been touched, all right, by any hardcore war from any other nation. All right. They had a civil war where they were fighting over slaves, where the South succeeded and sent the statement, and they had a little civil war, but this place hasn't been hit, all right, by any hardcore war, which they're getting ready to, as we're going to show you that as well. All right, now let's go here. See, there's a scripture that says they're a cult. All right, thou art cult. I'll look that one up. But here's the point here. Isaiah 47:10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and there is none else besides me. And he's saying this via his science. He's opposing himself. All right. And ultimately, he doesn't believe he's going to ever fall. He doesn't believe, the legacy associated with what he calls white, supremacy will ever fall. But it's being tainted right now. All right. And that's what we're going to show you here in this lesson. OK, he's saying in his heart, I am. Now, when you read here in verse 12, it says, stand now with thine enchantments, with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. All right. And they've been preparing and trying to get to this point to establish this NWO for years. You see, they've been, ultimately, that's why the likes, Klaus Schwab and particular other devil, elites are going so hard, because this is the vision, all right, that their forefathers wanted, the point where they would have all of this technology, all of this power to fully establish what they wanted. OK, and they've been laboring for this NWO for years. And that was the purpose of the paper dollar, which now, all right, as we read on the back of the dollar, it says what? Annuit conceptus. All right. The gods have granted us permission. All right. To what? Novus order seclorum, to establish our new secular world, our new age. And it ends with, money, being the paper money being done away with, in which, we have here. All right. And we're not going to go into this today, but IMF managing director, we are working hard on a global CBDC. Okay. So it's we're definitely in that time where the vision of John the Revelator is being brought to pass. And we'll get to that, in another lesson. But again, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so, thou mayest be able to profit. If so, thou mayest be able to prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy councils, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, all right, the UN councils, all of these various different meetings they're having. All right, you best believe, all right, they're worried. They're wearied in the multitude of those meetings to bring about, a way to shut out free speech, a way to, bring about their plan. All right. But, to present it as if it's going to help the people, but they're getting caught on every end. All right. They're exposed. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, and the monthly prognosticators, which that was, ultimately the power of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, even going back to Nimrod with Babel. All right. And, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, the Chaldeans, they were big, at predicting the future. Even their inauguration, that's based upon a ritual going back to Rome, where they would use birds and where they fly, and, to predict whether they would be prosperous, and to predict the future of their, kingdom and all of this. OK, but at the end of the day, let all of these left-handed, ideologies and things you've prospered in stand up and save thee from these things that are going to come up on thee. See? And what are the things that are going to come up on thee is right here. Verse 14, behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them, and they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. Now, Let's type in the word stubble and see, according to the biblical prophecy, who's going to be a stubble. Okay, let's go to the book of Obadiah, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph for a flame. Judah and Ephraim, the tabernacle of David, okay, putting hell on you devils, and the house of Esau for stubble. Because Esau runs this modern day Babylon the Great, or daughter of Babylon, daughter of the Chaldeans. Okay? And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So this is what they're trying their hardest to get around. All right. And as we are going to get into, there's a shameful spewing upon the legacy of you Edomites. Okay. As a matter of fact, check this out. I loaded this on a 2 through an information page.
Hi, how you doing today?
How are you?
Good, how about you? I just asked about that. My name's Josh, and so you said yourself that powerful institutions are at play here, and there's a coordinated effort to spread this parasitic ideology. So, I have a question for you. Are you willing to name the group behind this? Because behind all these institutions, there seems to be a Cohen, a Berg, a Stein. So, I have a question for you.
All of the institutions that are behind pushing this wicked ideology that's plaguing the earth right now with the whole gender thing, right? The people who are really behind it, which I had an article on it before, are the small hats. Okay? He said their last names. All right, now this guy who he's questioning is usually, all right, you know, he doesn't hold his tongue. His name is Matt Walsh. He did a documentary called What is a Woman? It's a good documentary. Check that out. But here it is now. He's being questioned. Well, behind all of these ideologies you're against is these particular names, Stein, Berg, and we know who those are. You know, those big nose people who say they're the chosen. So check this out.
What are your thoughts on the Jewish influence on gender ideology?
So am I going to do anything about the Jews, is what you're asking me? No. Okay.
See, that one silenced him. That silenced him. You see what I'm saying? People are calling, all right, E out. E is being called out, man. Okay? Now, I'm not going to play this, all right, but Roseanne Barr, okay? You remember her from the Roseanne show, all right? She's cursing out Amalek. Now, I'm not going to play it, all right, but basically, all right, you can read that. Just read that. All right, she said that, and she said they deserve to be put back into the spirit world, talking about, all right, Amalek. So everywhere we look, E is being called out, man. E is being called out everywhere we look. All right, we're starting to see a trend that these people are being called out. All right, now going back to this video, another thing that happened last week before they pushed that whole Titanic thing was the fact that they're telling you that they're going to start putting lab-grown chicken on the markets. Again, you would think people would be like, hell nah, there would be all kind of uproars, but there's not any uproars because people are under a strong delusion. Okay, it's so much crap that is being pushed out there. Aliens running around. All manner of just confusion is being pushed out there to where the people are just like, F it, man. People don't give a damn. All right, but they're pushing all manner of wickedness and evil, man. Okay. There's another video I want to play. Check this out.
And he testified in the UN Security Council had a meeting yesterday.
Hold up. Now, this is off of the beloved brother Qualaf page, GMS News of Moth. All right, the head of the GMS St. Louis camp. Subscribe and be edified. It can't be hidden anymore. Something is coming. Check this out.
And Rayne McGovern spoke to it. He is a former member of the CIA, and he testified in support of Seymour Hersh's article on the United States bombing Nord Stream pipeline. If it is proven that the United States bombed the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, as has been asserted by Seymour Hersh and his article, will you call for the United States to acknowledge and admit that that was an act of war against Germany and Russia? And I'm asking this because this may be the only way to prevent the rest of us from being killed in a thermonuclear war. And I don't want to be fried. Don't you think the media should be reporting on whether or not this is true? And don't you think you should be inquiring into whether or not this is true?
Well, thank you for the question. One, I've got no information to suggest that the United States was involved in bombing the Nord Stream pipeline.
Because you weren't briefed on it.
Sir, you got your chance to answer the question.
You weren't given information because he explicitly says you weren't briefed on it. Shouldn't you inquire?
So here's what I'll say about, I think, President Biden's leadership generally as it relates to the Ukraine and Russia.
We committed an act of war. What are you doing to respond to that? We have to hold Biden accountable. So listen, you're from Brooklyn, right? You know when to call bullshit when you see it. So do I. This is bullshit right now. And I see what's happening right now. That does not silence me. You can hear me right now. I want you to say something about the bombing, because we're all going to die from a nuclear war right now unless you stop it and you at least put and inquire into whether or not it's true. This war in Ukraine is going to leave us all dead. So what are you going to do? Because you need to inquire. I'm a New Yorker too.
Here's what I'll say.
Say it.
We're going to continue to stand with the Ukrainian people.
That's fucking bullshit. Do not do that. You will end us all
In
dead.
this war against
We
Vladimir
need
Putin.
peace. We need talks.
Because
Why are
it's
you
not
sabotaging
just-
talks?
it's
Do
not
not put
just
your
a
hands on me.
battle
We
between
need peace
Ukraine
talks.
People are like losing it. People are finding out how corrupt, all right, this government and the rulers are, man.
I'm not going to take this. We need peace talks. You are leaving, listen.
Democracy
Did you even read the
and
allegations?
autocracy. It's a
No.
battle between
How
truth
about
and
accountability?
propaganda.
Not
And it's a
airheadedness.
battle between
Okay.
tyranny
How about
and
prisons,
freedom.
not bombs?
And democracy,
Okay. How about
truth, and
conversations,
freedom will
not
prevail. And the
cremation?
United States is going to make sure
Diplomacy,
that happens.
not destruction. How about that? How about
Well, right now, what you're looking at is some very disturbing anti-Semitic images from a rally that took place just within the last few hours at a Jewish community center in Cobb County. Around a dozen people were seen holding signs with hateful messages and even Nazi flags at the Chabad Lubavitch of Cobb County. That's where we find Atlanta News First reporter Joshua Skinner tonight. He made it to this breaking news as soon as we learned about it. And Josh, who are these people?
Well, that's a very good question. We're here at Chabad of Cobb, where you can see there's still a security vehicle right out here in front of me. There were, until about 15 minutes ago, 3 or 4 Cobb County police officers that were out here. They have since gone. The protesters are also gone as well, but we can kind of show you exactly the layout of what went on here. There were, we're told, 11 Nazi protesters who were out here kind of where you see the Camp Izzy sign along that sidewalk. They did have Nazi paraphernalia as well as those Nazi party flags that you were mentioning. We are also told by the police that they were peaceful protesters. There was no violence involved in this protest.
So if it's a peaceful protest, why is it on the news? Anyway, we see where it's going, man. Okay, these people are pissed off, all right, and calling out a very, very notable people, man. All right, so America, all right, and Amalek, all right, is being called out. Now I wanted to play this as well.
Led to the death of people.
This is off of African Diaspora news channel. All right. Let's see here. I'll just play it from this point. It's called U.S. Can't Lecture Africa on Democracy. They deleted Gaddafi, sponsored coups, and interfered with elections. So again, America's being called out. It's a shameful spewing.
I remember the West categorically saying choices have consequences, to mean that they were already telling Kenyans that do not put these people in office. And you can argue it from whatever perspective that you want, but Western interference in terms of politics, elections, judicial processes. The president of Rwanda was even speaking against it, and we've seen that the power and the might of the US when it comes to how Africans govern themselves and do their business runs very, very deep. And the opposition leader of Zambia is saying, listen up. And this comes in the wake of Vice President Kamala Harris being in Zambia and doing the diplomatic trip that she was doing in Africa.
See, Babylon is going to these various different African countries who are speaking out against a lot of the alphabet juice that's been spread. All right. So America's, because a lot of these African countries are being developed in some way, shape, form, or fashion by the EU. All right. Or get aid in some shape, form, or fashion for developing their economies from the beast system. So that gives America the right to go into these various different countries and push these ideologies and tell these various different nations they need to, up their democracy and this and this and that, which that goes to the book of Jeremiah. All right. The book of Jeremiah, the 51st chapter. These nations are mad. OK, so we're very well witnessing biblical prophecy be fulfilled in our time, man. Give this a second to come up. Jeremiah 51:7. All right. Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that have made all the earth drunken. OK, and the earth is drunken. OK, let's look up this word drunken. I never looked that up. The earth is drunken off of these ideologies, off of these enchantments, off of these philosophies. All right. It doesn't work. It's not conducive to a nation. All right. To bring in democracy. All right. With aid, you get aid, but, pretty much your whole, country is undermined. Everything goes left. Your children's turn into freaks. All under this guise of democracy, which is supposed to be for the rule of the people. Now, they push democracy over in these different nations, but they'll take over what? The newspaper. They'll take over the news. All right. And they'll use it to push all of these various different agendas that weren't even plaguing these people. Case in point, let's say in a particular Middle Eastern country, women don't drive. All right, women stay home. What America will do is say, well, women are being oppressed, and they'll go over there with a group of women and they'll start protest. All right, but this is a whole setup environment. All right, now here in the West, that may sound crazy, but that works for them. It's working for them in their country and what they got going on. But America will say, well, the women are oppressed. The women can't do this. The women can't do that. All right. And they'll use they'll take over the news stations. They'll put in puppet leaders and start these, false protests and marches, which, then they'll use their Western media to bring light to it. All right. And then all of a sudden, all right, women are driving off cliffs. I'm being a little extra. All right. But ultimately, the result is, all right, that particular country and their traditions are undermined, and the wine of Babylon is introduced. The word is shakar, to become drunk, or drunken, to be intoxicated, to be drunken. OK, and the book of Habakkuk talks about, as we'll get. All right. They like to put their bottle upon these nations and make them and look at their naked bodies, man. So this is a spiritual drunk, to be filled abundantly with wine. All right. And democracy is a big part of that wine. So Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hands that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. See, Babylon is suddenly fallen. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaches into the heavens and is lifted up into the skies. And that's literally, all right, these nations that were over here, they came to make their money. They're leaving. They see it's going all left. All right. And these various different nations are like, we got to stick to our way of life. We got to go back to our customs. And they're calling out Babylon for the evils, man. All right. Again, Micah, the 2nd chapter. All right. And the 2nd verse. All right. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. That's what they do. They remove the landmarks, which the scriptures speak against that. OK. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. So you're not going to remove your necks from this judgment. Okay. In that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. See, there's a parable being taken up against Esau. In a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. He have changed the portion of my people. All right. Everything's gone left since we got involved with you. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he have divided our fields, man. OK. And that's what this devil has done. All right. And judgment is coming up on you for all of that ill dealing, man.
And he is saying, listen, I get it. You are the world's superpower and you've rightfully earned it, but you've not earned the right to lectures on democracy. You've not earned the right to think that you're the big brother of Africa, because some of the things that you've done in Africa are inexplicable.
Going back to the British colonization of Africa. Okay, not just America, but the British, which is one of the heads in the beast, did complete wickedness in different parts of Africa. You remember apartheid, right?
A truly fair, free, and peaceful world. Democracy takes many forms of expression, not only one. I believe democracy is a government in which all the people participate, in which the interests of the people reign supreme.
That's what a democracy is. The interest of the people is what dictates the law. All right. A republic is, no, this is the law. All right. You follow these rules. All right. And you'll be all right. But see, they use that democracy. All right. They use witchcraft to forward all of these different policies and undermine the people and push that wine.
In which their country's sovereignty, their country's honor is at the top. It seems that this month is a month of democracy discourse in the world. At the end of this month, there will be a conference in Lusaka, or a summit in Lusaka, Zambia, my country.
In Zambia, all right, which is in, I believe that's in West Africa, they're rich in copper, all right? And who benefits from the copper that they're rich in? Okay? The British benefited from it. America's benefited from it. China is over there benefiting from it. Heathen have benefited from it. But the people who actually live over there, they're not benefiting from any of the copper that they're rich in over there. Okay?
Led by the United States. They have come to Southern Africa to teach us democracy. A country that was opposed to our liberation, a country that supported colonial regimes, the apartheid regime in South Africa.
It's not West Africa, Salakia. It's Southern Africa. But there's some Jakes over there too, and they're known for, they got some good, actually, Zambian rock. You can look that up. It's pretty good.
The white racist minority regime in Zimbabwe, now Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe. The Portuguese colonial governments in Mozambique, in Angola, in Guinea-Bissau, and Cape Verde. Today is coming to Africa to teach us about democracy.
With your history, you gonna come to teach us about democracy. Listen to him.
A country that has toppled so many governments in Africa.
A country that has toppled so many governments in Africa. Okay? Let's go to the book of Habakkuk 1 real quick. You devils are something else, man. You go send some goddamn Kamala Harris over there to educate the people on democracy and morality. This is the book of Habakkuk 1 and 10. All right, now this is speaking of the Chaldeans, but the modern day Chaldeans is the Babylonians, the Americans, okay, the elites of this beast system as well. It says Habakkuk 1 and 10, they shall scoff at kings, and princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it, heap in resources, all right, ultimately doing all manner of wickedness, man. All right. Verse 8, their horses are swifter than leopards and are more fierce than the evening wolves, and their horsemen shall spread themselves. They're all throughout the four corners of the earth. They're military. They got embassies everywhere, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as the eagle that hasted to eat. Okay. And we know Esau is tied to the eagle. Ancient Neo-Babylonian empire was tied. They were tied to an eagle. Well, they had the wings of an eagle, the Assyrian Babylonian empire. But it's all tied in biblical prophecy to where we are now. Because now the Edomites have been raised up as that nation, all right, to judge us. But ultimately, they're going to be judged. They shall come off for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. And that's what they've done. All right, now they're being called out. I love it.
That has led so many coups in Africa and other parts of the world. A country that has killed so many of our leaders in Africa and other parts of the world.
Right, you've killed so many people all over the world.
The killers of Patrice Lumumba, those who toppled Kwame Nkrumah, those who killed Nasser, those who killed Muammar Gaddafi. They killed
Gaddafi. Now the people over in Libya, they had free electricity, free education. When you started a family, you got a stipend. If you graduated college, you started your life off not in debt, but with a stipend. Maybe $50,000 or more to start your family off when you graduate. If you're an upstanding citizen, you good. You get free health care. But America, because Gaddafi wanted to leave the dollar and go back to a gold standard, demonized him, just like they did Saddam Hussein. All right, and broke up that government. Now look at the people over there. All right, just look up Libya post Gaddafi. Okay. Libya post Gaddafi. Are they better off or are they worse off? A broken state. How Libya spiraled into chaos post Gaddafi. State of Libya 5 years since the overthrow of Gaddafi. They're through. Okay, and you can look that history up, or you can look it up, but the American media were able to paint him as a monster, as a tyrant. But look at what you do to your people. And this is what this African leader is calling out. All right? A Hamite. Okay? Could be a Jake, but we'll just call him Ham right now.
today are coming to teach us about democracy. A country that has been built on brutal force, on enslavement of other human beings,
Right.
on the humiliation of Africans, the exploitation of Africans, the plunder of Africa, today is coming to teach us about democracy. That's the arrogance, the imperialist arrogance, the racist arrogance that we are subjected to. We cannot have democracy where there is hegemony
Hegemony.
of
Yep.
the strongest, mightiest imperialist power. We cannot have democracy where a country's resources, a country's decisions are dictated to by another country.
Right. Again, who controls the resources that they're rich in over in Zambia? Copper is just, one resource, because Africa, contrary to, what people say that the Hebrew Israelites say, we're not saying Africa, we hate the landmass. I mean, of course we know Africa is really Leoscipius Africanus, but the whole earth is beautiful. Africa is what they call Africa, the land of Ham, land of Ham, is a beautiful piece of land, and we're going to have control of all of these lands. All right, but it's rich in many resources, and what they show you on the Discovery Channel ain't the real Africa, man. Africa is absolutely beautiful. All right, it's just that the chosen land is Jerusalem, but the whole earth, okay, and the region of Israel is close to the land of Ham. So they have all manner of resources over there, you see, but they're not benefiting from it. And now you have neo-colonization with these Moabites, the so-called Chinese over there, doing what they do.
A country that is dominated by another country cannot be democratic. A country that lacks sovereignty cannot be democratic. A people that cannot decide for themselves cannot be democratic. A colony, a neo-colony cannot be democratic. That's why today, even at the United Nations, membership is on the basis of sovereignty. Only sovereign nations can be members of the United Nations.
Only sovereign nations could be a member of the UN.
Because only sovereign nations can decide for themselves. A colony cannot be a member of the United Nations. It's not by accident. It's not a mistake. If you have no respect for the dignity of others, if you have no respect for the sovereignty of other countries, you cannot claim to be a champion of democracy. They used to say all roads lead to Rome. Today we can confidently say all roads to progress, all roads to what is better for humanity leads to Beijing.
They calling out Babylon. See, they're like, we got to get away from Babylon. Let's get the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, and we'll jump around in that chapter. Jump around. Habakkuk 2, right? Because ultimately, the Most High answers Habakkuk, because his question was, when are you going to end this all? Like, so basically in this chapter, he describes the nation that was going to rule, all right? That was going to be completely wicked to where we were going to have to live by faith. That's who he's going to end it through. He describes the image of the beast as you read down, But we're just going to get a point here. Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Behold, all right, yea, also he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. All right, which is why Kamala is over there in Zambia, and he's going over to Ghana and these different parts of these Africa and all over the world, telling these nations what to do. Who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto himself all people through the NWO. All right, they're trying to get everybody on board. Like, you got to come up under our rule, the UN, all of that. Shall not all of these take up a parable against him? And a parable is what? A mocking and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth in that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. See? Again, the nations that were at peace with thee, all right, shall deceive thee. You see? And these different African countries are going to link with Russia. All right? They're calling you out for that thick clay, for the debt. Shall not they rise up and suddenly bite thee, and awake that vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? So yeah, these nations are going to spoil you, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, and of the city, and of all that dwell therein. See? Woe to him that covet an evil covetous to his house, that he may set his nest on high. Here it is. You get to be sovereign. You get to do this. You get to dictate. All right. That he may be delivered from the power of evil. But then you're not, all right, affected by, all right, these different policies you push and these different sanctions. You're not affected yourselves as the rulers by the laws you pass. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people. All right. Thou hast sinned against thy soul. And this is what's happening. All right. Verse 12, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. That's America. That's this beast system. It was built on what? Bloodshed and iniquity, colonization, destruction. All right. Woe to him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, democracy, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Nakedness is tied to you being without your ways. That's what happened during Hellenization. They forced all of the nations to give up their customs and to come up under a one world order, to where everybody would have to follow the Greekish fashion, right? And our forefathers, the Maccabees, all right, the Maccabees said no. Okay, and different other Jakes in line with them was like, we ain't bowing. That's the spirit we in, man. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. See, shameful spewing shall be upon your glory, and that's what's happening. Okay, let's look at a little bit more of this.
This is a country, this is a people that have developed themselves, that has developed itself without colonizing any country in the world, without plundering any country in the world, without subjugating any people in the world. This is a country that is developing with maximum respect for others, for their history, for their cultures, and recognizes the diversity that is there in civilization. We were only taught one form of civilization, one form of modernization. That was the Western way. Westernness was a measure of how civilized, how modern you are.
Yeah, the West was the standard of what it meant to be civilized. All right, but now people are like, man, we got to get the hell away from the West.
We reject that.
We reject that.
We reject it because it's not correct.
It's not correct. That's right.
We reject it because it's undemocratic. We reject it because it's uncivilized. to think of the world and of other people in that way. Today, they cannot accept the fact that China has caught up with them. China is about to surpass them in many areas of human endeavor. The imperialist arrogance is inhibiting them from accepting that reality. The racist arrogance is inhibiting them from accepting that reality. But the world is changing. The changes we are witnessing today, as President Xi said in Moscow recently, or the other day, they have never been seen in 100 years. They have shaped a world that they themselves today are scared of. And they have shaped a world that is not sustainable. Democracy, human development is not sustainable on the basis of plunder.
Yeah, you can keep listening. And as these African countries, go into chaos, that works in Russia's hands, because Russia is going, go and pretty much train these various different African countries up. They're doing it in the land of Kush. Okay, Ethiopia. All you have to do is just type in Ethiopia, Russia ties. All right, and that's biblical prophecy. Okay. Russia currently has an embassy in Addis Ababa, and Ethiopia has an embassy in Moscow. The Ethiopian ambassador to Russia, all right, is accredited to Armenia, yada, yada, yada. All right, but when you look it up, all right, pretty much Russia is training up the Ethiopian army, all right, in various different African countries that are collapsing, all right, due to the, what the West and British and these various different countries have done unto them. Russia is going to come to their aid, and they're going to align themselves with Russia, even Zambia. As a matter of fact, I think I have another video real quick. To go into that.
Very soon, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, is going to be going to South Africa for a huge summit. Now, the International Criminal Court has put out an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin. We all know this, on bogus charges of child trafficking, something to that effect, because he was getting children out of a war zone in Ukraine.
Yeah. America is sitting up here calling Putin a child trafficker, but Epstein, those emails just get covered up. They're so worried about the children, right? Anyway.
But it just so happens that South Africa is a member state, is party to the International Criminal Court. So the question naturally has come up. What is South Africa going to do? Are they going to arrest Putin when he sets foot on South African soil? Well, the South African leadership has answered the question in an interview with UK media. The BBC asked the question, surely you're going to arrest Vladimir Putin, right? You're going to arrest Mr. Putin, Putler, you're going to arrest him. And the South African response was absolutely beautiful. Take a listen.
South Africa is a treaty member of the International Criminal Court. If Putin comes here in August as planned, your government will be obliged to arrest him. As head of the ANC, do you believe your government should and indeed will arrest Vladimir Putin?
If it was according to the ANC, we will want President Putin to be here even tomorrow.
You would?
To come.
You would? Why? Why would you want a Nazi war criminal in your country tomorrow? Yeah, because everyone loves Putin. Everyone loves Putin. If you are in the live chat or the comment section right now watching this video, if you love Putin, type I love Putin. Everybody loves Putin except for Western leadership and Western aligned leadership. I love Putin. Okay, let's get that out of the way. South Africa loves Putin. You dumb British fuck. You dumb inbred fuck.
To come to our country.
But you welcome Vladimir Putin here, right now.
We will welcome,
a man who is being investigated for war crimes by the International
We will welcome
Criminal
him to come here as part and parcel of BRICS, but we know that we are constrained by the ICC in terms of doing that. Putin is a head of state. Do you think that a head of state can just be arrested anywhere? How many crimes have your country committed in Iraq? How many crimes have everyone else who got today committed in Iraq and Afghanistan? Have you arrested them?
You don't know the impact, but this standard...
We got soccer, football. I want to have some tea now. I'm gonna go cry about the coronation again. Please excuse me while I go kiss King Charles's toes. Shut the fuck up. Literally, British people, I heard a British person walking by me this morning. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm so glad I don't have to talk to you. There were so many British people when I was in Bali for a month and a half. And I realized I no longer wanted to be in Bali.
A lot of noise about Putin state of working for peace between Ukraine and Russia, and you failed to resolve the war. Where are the weapons of mass destruction? Tony Blair went to Iraq and claimed that they're weapons of mass destruction. Did you see anybody standing against that in the United Kingdom and Britain? More than millions of people have died in Iraq and Afghanistan, and there are no weapons of mass destruction. We know what the war...
Yeah, but Tony Blair was massacring the brown people, the Iraqis and the Afghanis, and Putin is massacring the Ukrainian Nazis. You have to understand, this is much different, Mr. South African ANC leader.
War is about
Mr. Secretary General.
Between Russia and Ukraine. We want peace. That's what is important, so that the world can thrive. And organs and institutions of the world that institute world peace
He's
must not
through.
be conspicuous by their silence in deciding decisively.
Yeah, we're gonna shift gears here, talk about domestic affairs now, because I'm all done talking about this, because you just slapped me across the fucking face. You made me look like a bitch. We're gonna move to the domestic issues. All right. Bro, British people, like, fucking cannot stand them. Okay. Enough British people for today. So that's the BBC getting absolutely their ass handed to them by the South African Secretary General, saying, yeah, if we could have Putin tomorrow, we would. We would. We're not idiots like you in the UK. Flawless victory from South Africa.
Let's check this one out. Get a few articles and close it out. Shameful spewing. Shameful spewing.
Member of the International Criminal Court. If Putin comes here in August as planned, your government will be obliged to arrest him. As head of the ANC, do you believe your government should and indeed will arrest
If
Vladimir
it was
Putin?
according to the ANC, we will want President Putin to be here even tomorrow.
You will welcome Vladimir Putin here right now.
Of course we will
A
welcome.
man who is being investigated for war crimes.
Putin is a head of state. Do you think that a head of state can just be arrested anywhere? How many crimes have your country committed in Iraq? How many crimes have everyone else who spoke up today committed in Iraq and Afghanistan? Have you arrested them? Tony Blair went to Iraq and claimed that they're weapons of mass destruction. More than millions of people have died in Iraq and Afghanistan, and there are no weapons of mass.
And a lot of these leaders are sellouts too, but it's just beautiful to see the turn of things, man. You know, the America, the West, the beast system is being like it's through. It's through. Also in news, North Korea holds rally with promise to annihilate the U.S. Okay. Biden is making the Iran situation much worse. So the Biden administration doing the bidding of the elite is leading you all to war. And they're getting ready to take away your rights to have any say-so because they're losing the information war. North Korea held a mass rally across the nation Saturday, which marked a day of struggle against U.S. imperialism when government leaders promised to annihilate the enemy, according to its propaganda outlet. Rallies were held in each province of the nation, and an extensive list of government leaders spoke to denounce U.S. as an imperialist beast. According to the state-run Korean Central Agency News, the gatherings in Pyongyang reached 120,000 attendees. All right. Look at this, man. People are cursing America out, man. The entire continent of U.S. was within our range. One sign shown by the outlet said the imperialist U.S. is the destroyer of peace. Another sign read, the day of the struggle against U.S. imperialism falls on the 73rd anniversary of the start of the Korean War. These nations ain't forgot. Let's see here. And these are nations that at one point would have never stood up to Babylon the Great. That fulfills the prophecy in Joel, let the weak say I'm strong. Okay, let's get that real quick. That's what's happening. Okay. Woo! Joel 3:10, beat your plowshares into swords. These nations ain't, all right, dealing with agriculture right now. They like, we got to ante up and fight. and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down. Let the heathen be awakened, and the heathen are being awakened. All right. And at the forefront of a lot of this is Russia. See, Russia's always being mentioned in this whole grand scheme of things because there's nothing but biblical prophecy, man. See what this says in the NLT. Hammer your plowshares into swords, meaning take, all right, the agriculture, stop investing in that, all right, and it's time to get missiles and military might, which Russia is helping with a lot of that, and turn your pruning hooks into spears. Train even your weaklings to be warriors, all right? And that's what's happening in China and all over the world. These nations are training their military men to be more manly, okay? China training men to be warriors. See what comes up. I'm just typing that in because I remember something else. Yep. China promotes education drive to make boys more manly. All right. What's with the masculinity problem in China? Well, China was calling out the fact that their men are becoming more weak due to, the Western influence. So they, gave America TikTok, all right, and they're telling their men, look, okay, we need to be real men, all right? China, all of these various different boot camps in China turns weak China boys into real men. See that? All right. Countries that were once looked at as weak are now what? Saying, look, let's be sure we're going to be strong. All right. Because they know that they're going to war. Now, what is America doing? All right. They're over here telling you a boy can be a girl can be a boy. See? Moab ain't playing around. Okay. Boot camp turns weak China boys into real men. It's time to get it in. See? They notice we got a problem here. Okay? And let's see here. More train derailments. Montana train derailment, but we'll talk about this in another lesson. Let's see, what did I have anymore? Let's see here. Why China has sharpened its anti-American rhetoric. Washington has become a convenient scapegoat for Beijing. That says more about the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, than it does their relationship. So yeah, America's through. This thing is happening. Okay, and a lot of these countries are going to be aligned with Russia. Okay. Ezekiel 38:4, and I will turn thee back, speaking of Gog and Magog, Russia, and I will put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine armies. All right. Horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So Russia is anteing up. Persia, which is Iran. Ethiopia, all right. Libya, all of them with shield and helmet, okay? And all of this is biblical prophecy, okay? All of this is biblical prophecy, man. Just type in Russia. Russia-Libya relations. Yeah, Russia has an embassy over there. Okay? Russia has an embassy in Tripoli, with Libya having an embassy in Moscow. Diplomatic contact between Russia and Libya has generally been close and productive. Huh. All right, Russia-Iran ties. Russia-Iran alliance. See? Since mid-2020, Iran has become Russia's top military backer. All right. And all you got to do is look these things up. This is biblical prophecy coming to pass right in your face. All right. Gomer, Turkey, and all his band. Gomer is going to join Russia. And the house of Togomar in the north quarters and all his bands with many people with thee. Be thou prepared for thyself. All right. All right. Thou and all thy company. So all of these different nations, that's that company. And we're witnessing them. All right. Stray away from the West, call out the beast system, call out America. All right. And Russia is like becoming a popular, amongst these various different heathen nations. You see? Give me 1 second. All right. It says, be thou prepared and prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is like a guard, all right, unto these various different nations. So it's going down, man. It's going down. Germany, all of these various, and Germany is, man, they're pissed off at Babylon. Okay. They're pissed off at Babylon, man. All right. I believe that's Torgama. All right. So, hey, man, we're witnessing a shameful spewing being, spewed upon a legacy of you Edomites, man. Babylon, Israel, they're all being called out, man. So hopefully I'll edify on to the next. Shalom.